Alright, we've got a customer here that we've got 3 20-seer trains on in his house, and this is the garage. Appears that we got a refrigerant leak here. Take a look at that system.
So the shop in the middle of the day is upwards.
So I pulled the disconnect. This is ice cold water. We've already knocked the ice blocks off of it. So I'm going to open it up and pull the orange wire off. We're going to see if we can speed up this melting process. Alright, so it's running inside. It's in the cool mode. You can hear the reversing valve click, so we'll leave it in the heat mode without having to go change the thermostat. And we'll crank it back up. Try to speed up the melting. Alright, pressures don't look real terribly low in the heat mode here. As you can see, we have certainly picked up the pace on the melting volume here. And there is their dual fuel temperature sensor, which I have no reason why they put that on this job. It's got a gas furnace in the attic. Nice little shop here. No reason why they'd want to go dual fuel with natural gas, so they could save $10 a month in the wintertime and put up with this thing running its long heat pump cycles, dirtying up the filter because it's a wood shop. So I think I would rather have the short gas heating cycles and not worry about the $10 a month that this might save by being dual fuel. In my opinion, dual fuel is for when you are stuck on propane gas and it's really high and you're trying to save that. But let's wait on it to melt. As you can see, we're not extremely low on refrigerant, so we may have some other issue going on here. We're going to get it fired up in the cool mode and see what we got. And the fan is turning backwards. Look at that. Boy, this ought to get us some comments. Well, go wild on that, fellas. Now this is starting to slow down, so we're getting pretty close to having all our ice melted. And in another couple of minutes, I'm going to put the reversing valve back on, and then we'll hook the clamps up and we'll figure out what's going on with this machine. So he's got a Quattro gas furnace, huge pan. I don't think I've even seen a pan that big before. I had to have that made. There's our coil. A nice union on the drain line. That's handy. Alright. As you can see, that indoor coil is hot as fire. We're almost at 500 and we are pretty close to being done. I'm going to plug the reversing valve back in and listen to that terrible noise that compressor's making. Then we're going to take our superheat. I'll let that line cool off a minute. Whew. So I'll go ahead and hook the subcooling up. I'm going to let this line cool down a minute before I plug my superheat clamp on it. It is ridiculously hot. And we're already extremely low, which tells us a couple of things. Number one, being so high in the heat mode, obviously we're starving for airflow, and there's some obvious reasons for that we're going to need to correct. And okay, it's starting to get right. So I'm going to let this thing run about 10 minutes in the cool mode, and then we're going to evaluate what we have. Alright, so we're starting to build just a tad of subcooling. And superheat is really high, and our pressures look normal. So like I said, we got airflow issues in the heat mode. We got airflow issues period, but they greatly affect the heat mode. So we're going to get some R410a and bring this up to a normal level and see if we get our performance before we discuss looking for the leak or not. Okay, so we're going to have to add a good bit more, but it did at least affect the pressures. So we're not really getting much subcooling yet. So this has either been going on a while or it's a pretty aggressive leak. One of the two. And that compressor does not like that refrigerant, so we're going to be slow here. I know you hear that. That's why I've turned it off. Let's see how long it takes that to even out. Heat pumps have a rough life, especially when they run low on refrigerant in the really cold weather. Hopefully that noise goes away. Alright, so we're starting to build some subcooling there. And I'm going to try to see if I can let it fill low a little slower. It's making some terrible racket, and it does not enjoy. Yep. See, it is reacting violently to that liquid refrigerant. And it took it a minute to stop that. Well, that rotor in that scroll is just chattering away. This heat pump sat out here and ran all winter. Likely low on charge, which is low on oil circulation, and we all know what the result of that is. And I think we're hearing some of that now, but I'm going to try to get this subcooling up to 8 or 10 and see what it looks like, and see if we can get some temporary performance here at least. So, we're getting somewhere. I just don't like torturing this compressor. So I'm just barely cracking this thing. And I know all you guys are going to give your opinion. Well, just keep in mind that you're not the one paying for it. And when we're out here doing this, we're working for the customer. So, you know, as long as you're not paying the bill, it's real easy to say, kick that thing down the hill, you know, throw it away, compressor's shot, put in a new train. Well, I'd love to do that too, but there again, you know, we're the installers and the technicians, but we don't have to pay for it. So we got to try to take care of the customer at the same time. I don't think it's worth looking for the leak. I don't think I'd want to put that kind of money into it. But R410a is cheap. If it's a slow enough leak, we'll get him another couple years out of it just by filling it once a year. If it's any more than that, I think I would condemn the system, but we're just going to see what we got. We're going to fill it up today and go from there. Alright, I've been going pretty slow here just to keep from listening at that chatter and that torture. And we're getting close to where I'm going to leave it. I've got the superheat way down. The pressure's looking okay. I'm going to try to get, maybe 9 or 10 on subcooling here. Alright, we're going to leave it right there. And that's good for me. I stuck a fitting on the drain. Just couldn't sit there and watch it running up and down the edge of the pipe anymore. So let's wrap this up and explain to the customer what he's got and what we got options looking forward.